Hey everyone, Benny Lewis here, and I'm going to be doing something different in this upcoming series of videos. I want to address mental health and recovery from hard times. You may have seen in my video 9 months ago where I opened up about what I've been personally thinking of as my 4 big Ds: debilitating burnout, depression, divorce, and debt. One of them alone would have been more than enough to suck away my motivation, but having them all at once was an incredibly overwhelming and draining experience, the extent of which I can't even begin to describe. But I've crawled out from the depths of the hole that is clinical depression. I've been conquering my financial woes, I have a vastly improved work-life balance, and my outlook on life in general is getting back to optimistic. I'm in much greater spirits these days, and while I'm still working on myself and hope to continue making progress, I've learned a lot of lessons in this challenging recovery process, and I'd like to share them with you. This will be a series of videos you'll be seeing for a while in this channel, so, smash the subscribe button, turn on notification bells so you don't miss them, and Twinsta, Snap, Toxtagram, share this video. I don't know. I haven't been a YouTuber in ages. I'm not sure what the current lingo is. In this video, I want to talk about pace. This was a hard one for me to wrap my head around because, as you'll gather from my website and book title, the theme for a lot of my life has been intensive bursts of progress as quickly as possible. I still find a lot of value in that approach, and I plan to have many intensive future projects that I look forward to sharing with you all again. But there was a reason I was able to take on those epic missions one after the other, year after year. My energy levels were high, and my motivation batteries were fully charged. I had challenges, as you do when you're on the road a lot and starting your own business, but they were manageable. Dealing with my 4 big Ds though had completely tapped me out. My batteries were run empty, and it took all my motivation to simply get myself from one day to the next. Initially, my thought process was to try to treat mental health recovery like an intensive learning project. There's certainly a sense of urgency there when you feel like your entire life force is being drained from you and you really want it to stop. When I needed the energy to get to a better place more than I ever have in my entire life, it just wasn't there. So for anyone watching this who feels bad that they've been in their own slump for a really long time, I just want you to know, direct from the fluent in 3 months guy, that this is going to take a lot of time. And that's okay. For context, I first sought out professional help for my depression 3.5 years ago. That's essentially the point from which I was attempting to recover in some form. Then, I separated from my ex 2.5 years ago. That was the point where I had more control over everything in my life to be able to work on my recovery as a priority. But to be honest, I needed that entire second year just to decompress from everything that happened to me and to truly begin my recovery. Then, a little less than another year later, or 9 months ago, I was finally ready to talk about what I'd been through openly with the world, with that video you may have seen. Now, at that point, I was tempted to merge that openness with a burst of content creation, because this would really help me feel like my old self. I wanted to make this series of videos that I'm making now immediately after that first one. But I knew I wasn't in a place to commit to anything like that, and just taking the step of being open was already something that I should have been proud of all by itself. I still needed more time. Now, despite knowing this, I thought about pushing myself even though my motivation battery wasn't charged back up enough yet. You guys actually helped me a lot with this. Multiple comments on that video reminded me to prioritize my recovery over jumping back into doing something I wasn't ready for yet. And now, 3.5 years after I really started to try to recover, it's not like I've solved all my problems. I still have work to do. Mental health recovery isn't a black and white situation, but a spectrum where you gradually find yourself getting stronger while finding some way to be at peace with the fact that you still have bad days. So the lesson from all of this is that mental health recovery takes a lot of time. The first step is to accept that and release yourself from any guilt you may feel for how long you've been feeling down. It's impossible to have a timeline in mind ahead of time. I'm 3.5 years into this process, and I still don't know if I'll ever reach a point where I can say I'm all done. But I can say that allowing myself to have had this time has been one of the most important things to help me truly get to a better place. I hope you'll allow yourself that time too. So I hope this video has helped you, and I hope that my upcoming ones have some useful takeaways for anyone struggling. Remember, I'm not a mental health professional, but just sharing my own experiences. If you're really struggling with your mental health, please reach out to a professional, or at least confide in someone empathetic in your life that you can trust. Making that decision was the catalyst that began my road to recovery. Everything after that was being kind to myself and taking my time. I'll see you guys next time.